Hi, well I didn't intend to make a video today, but things arrived. Not wool that I bought, no, nothing like that. First of all, let me introduce you to my new man. Isn't he cute? It's one of those body pillows, you know. Arrived today. Far less trouble than a man, isn't it? More cuddly anyway. Right, Gigi, what you do? Gigi and I have just been up to the post office, hence the wind-blown, wet, damp-looking hair, because we didn't pick the nicest of days to go. First of all, not blocked, but finished the sweater, finished my sweater. Quite pleased with it, it's beautifully soft. People have said they can't get this yarn. It's probably because it was one of Kemp's clearance lines, so maybe it's because the company who made it have stopped doing it. Excuse this, we've got a little friend here. We've just been up to the post office in his carrier. He's been, creating a bit. Oh, look at that little doggy. Everywhere we go. Well, I'm using my yarn bucket. As you can see, it holds two balls side by side. And I am so pleased with what is happening with this yarn. I told you I think I was going to do the random yarn in the middles and the black around the outside. So that's the first one. Obviously they're all going to be different. And this one is really cute. That one's nice. And I think this one is kind of veering on my favourite at the moment. Bear in mind I've only made 3. But aren't they nice? Reminds me of stained glass. You know, the colours together, like stained glass windows. I mean, I'll obviously make all the squares before I decide in which order they will be going in. Well, the postman rang the doorbell and I'm thinking I'm not expecting anything because this had already arrived, my man. So I'm looking forward to sleeping with it, him, whatever, her. So anyway, I stood there with a box and I thought, oh, I've not had anything in the box, what's arrived. So I opened it up and inside was a Valentine's card. And I'm thinking, I haven't had anything for Valentine's Day since Adam was a lad, do you know what I mean? You're past that sort of age where you expect a card, aren't you? You know, my time of life. And it was from my gorgeous, lovely friend, Efrain. Hi, Efrain. You are such a lovely, caring man. Love you to bits, Efrain. He really is lovely. And the thing about crocheting for yourself is that hardly anybody makes you anything because they always presume that you can make your own. I mean, previously I've had shawls given to me by various of my friends and I really love each and every one of them. I wear them all the time. But this one is a sweater from Efrain and I love it. And it's so soft and gorgeous. He's nitpicks, I presume, because he's put the label in for me. Presumably because he knows I'm a crap washer. Isn't it gorgeous? Isn't it beautiful? I love it. Thank you so much, Efrain. I'll model it for you one day. He was a bit worried that the neck hole wouldn't fit me, but it does. So, that's the one thing I do have is a small head. Large everything else, but a small head. Small hands, small feet, small head, large body. There we go. Isn't it beautiful? And it's so, so soft. I can't tell you how soft it is. I wish you could squish it. And he's put his label in. Yeah. Crocheted with love by Efrain. Isn't that beautiful? Oh, love it. Love it. Thank you so much, Efrain. And inside the box he sent me, it's a wrist support. Now I've got wrist supports, but they're so tight, and yet this one is absolutely supportive, but not too tight. It's really nice, because I've been having a bit of trouble with me. And also it's got no Velcro on. Some of the ones I've got have got Velcro on, so when I'm crocheting it's sticking to everything I'm crocheting. which doesn't make it easy to use. So that is so useful, so useful. And he's also included some books for me. Quick and Easy Baby Afghans, Bernat cotton tots. You seem to make the sweater for the tot, which is great because I've got like my great niece, and you make the similar matching outfit like for the teddy bear or the dolly. So that's a nice one. It's Bernat, Bernat, isn't it? And then I've got slouchy beanies, which are very nice, and touchable knits. They look really lovely and soft, because you do know I do knit now and again. Not as often as I crochet, but there are some. They look quite, I was going to say simple, but I would say basic. Basic, like that style is quite basic, isn't it? But it's lovely. And you know, the jacket on the front cover. And it looks as though it's in nice chunky-ish wool, which is, I mean, I like that. I wouldn't choose those shades, but I do like. These are handy for popping over things, for that little bit of extra warmth, yeah. And it's like Christmas. I don't know about Valentine's, it's like Christmas. And knowing my love of necklaces, I think we can take this out of the bag. I can't see it properly in the bag, can you? Sorry for all the rustling, people. But isn't that gorgeous? Look at that. Beautiful. I still haven't put the mirror behind, so I still can't see what you're seeing. But it's beautiful, isn't it? And it's got my colours, my colours. Could have put it on today, couldn't I? But I'd already put this on. This one's got a bit weird in the wash. I've got pokey sleeves now. Never mind, she says. And then, look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? It's got my name on it. To put, I presume, put my keys on it. It's got my name on both sides. That's lovely. I've never had anything like that before. That is really nice. Really, really nice. And he sent me some buttons. And I'm going to sneeze any minute now. You have to excuse me if I go itchy. He sent me some lovely red and white stripy ones. And then some assorted colours. I love having different buttons, especially since I can't get to half of my buttons at the moment. But the family have quarter moved out. They've moved out, but of course all the stuff's still here. Because things like wardrobes and chests of drawers and things like that haven't arrived yet. Neither has the sofa, or the blinds, or the curtains, or the doors. But I mean, front door, back door, they've got those. But they haven't got the internal doors, so... But they've basically moved out, let's just say, basically. So, and then he sent me some of these, which were really good last time he sent them me. They're menthol, not mental, like Sue was saying yesterday, menthol. And they're cold and hot medicated patches. We can get them here, but they are so expensive. Absolutely, yeah. For 2 patches, you can pay £5 or £6 over here for them. So these are great. You know, when I'm having a really bad back and hip day. I love them. And then this is the bit I haven't got to yet. I haven't looked at these, and these are super, super, super. I've got 4 of these, which is I love this yarn. And I really do love this yarn. It's so nice. This one is, where are we going? Dark Neons, it's called. Isn't that gorgeous? He knows I love bright colours, and I really do like bright colours. So there's, why do we have to keep turning backwards and forwards to read everything? It's acrylic, of course, which I love. I'm looking how many. I don't have my glasses on, so I don't know how much is in it. Oh, grams, here we go. 250 metres and 142 grams. Isn't that lovely? I love it. It's got purple in my favourite colour. Love it, love it, love it. Hopefully it'll make me something. Because you know what I'm like, I like to make things with it, I'm not a hat and cowl person, I'm more a weary sweater. And then he's also sent me 2 of these, which are so pretty. This one's called Aquarella, watercolour. And it says O, which is water, isn't it? E-A-U-X, water. Aquarella. It's lovely, isn't it? Again, it's... Oh no, it's Super Saver this, I beg your pardon. Thought it was going to be I Love the Show. But either way, it's beautiful, and it's got how many Here we go again. It keeps the colours one way, everything else is the other way. I'm trying to look. It's worsted because you're all probably familiar with it more than I am. 141 grams, 5 ounces, 215 metres. And I've got 2 of those. Oh, I love it. I love it. I could, you know, do one of the colours, couldn't I, to, you know, give it a bit of... excuse me, what are you barking at, mister? It's probably a sparrow coughing in the next street. He hears things that aren't there, don't he? Anyway, back to what I've got. I am so... You know how to make me happy, don't you, Efrain? You really, really do. He is such a good friend. And I don't mean that because he sends me things, but he is a good friend. And as you know, he's a lovely, lovely person. And it's time you made some more videos because your public are waiting for you, Efrain. He's made about 2 or 3 videos and they were really, really good. And everybody loved them, and then he just went off again and never made any more. So, Efrain, I know you have been crocheting and knitting because obviously you have. You found your crojo again, as Sue would say. Sue's found her crojo. I've found a bit of my crojo. And tonight I'm going to be sleeping with my new man. I'm such a hussy. I'm hoping it's going to be comfy. It was cheaper than a new mattress. Yes, and I'm going to wear that next time I wear anything purple. I love it. I love big statement pieces. I'm just a, you know, when I was younger I used to like delicate, dainty little things around my neck, but now I want something chunky. Of course, I mean, when I was wearing delicate, small things, I was probably a delicate, small person. I have this thing, you know, if I wear something big, it'll distract from the fact that I'm big, yeah. But I do love that for my keys. I think that's so gorgeous. When I was working, that would have been fantastic to put me, well, they used to call them a PID. It was your plastic, like a credit card thing that you put into your machine that was like, you know, it's got your details on it. You had to put a password in, obviously. Because if somebody had found your PID, they couldn't put it into the machine and get the details out. You had to do a double thing. It was PID in and password in as well. And there were beggars where I worked. They used to change the password every month. Don't write it down. I'm thinking, I can't remember my own name. Let alone a password that was all numbers. It was numbers and uppercase and lowercase as well. And it didn't make sense, you know, it wasn't like a word or anything, or, you know, anything you could remember or found. So I always used to have to write it down. I hid it well in my drawer, but I did have to write it down. So, anyway, I'm just, excuse the hair, I look such a wreck, don't I? My hair just reacts to damp in the weather. It just goes all weird. It looked alright when I went out, but when the time I came back it looked like this. So, anyway, I just met my friend on the way home and she was telling me another shop on the precinct, on the village, is closing down. The landlords, I don't know whether it's the same in America, but the landlords are so greedy. They keep putting up the rents. I mean, that was what forced us out of the wool shop in the end. Well, not out of... It forced us out of the nice shop we had into a smaller one. because he was just so greedy, the landlord. He just kept putting the rents up, putting the rents up. I'm sure he thought that whatever went into the till was ours, you know, which isn't, you know. If you had £200 in your till, by the time you've taken away the cost of the rent, staff's wages, income tax, things like that, paying for the goods that you're selling, I don't think you'd even get 10% of that £200 that you could say was yours. I mean, that's a lot of people don't understand when they think, oh, self-employed. Woo, it's going to be so good, I'm working for myself. All that money will be mine. But it doesn't work out that way. I mean, I'm sort of classed as self-employed, but not in a major scale. I could never keep myself. I could never do it as a job because, you know, you just wouldn't make enough money to float a boat, you know. I envy people who do. I really, really do. But I also think they must work a heck of a lot harder than I am. I like to take my time, pace myself. I don't ever want to get to the situation where my crocheting is spoiled because I'm under deadlines all the time. I watch videos by Potter and Bloom. I think she's called Emma. And she did commissions and things like that, and she said it just spoilt the joy out of her own crocheting and knitting because she was on deadlines and having to come up with these ideas and that. But it's a bit like that. I don't mind crocheting orders if I like what I'm crocheting, if I've sort of, it's something I've made. But I really don't like orders when they want me to do something that I don't want to do, you know. Basically, it's a torture to me. It's like that sweater I never got paid for, you know, the one that was silk. It was a nightmare, an absolute nightmare to crochet. It was so slippy. I did it 3 times, I think, because I couldn't get the tension right. And in the end, she didn't like it. So I wasted about 3-4 weeks of my time and didn't get a penny for it. In fact, I was out of account because I paid the postage to send the darn thing back to her. But I'm really looking forward to going on to the next colours of this for me. I think that's the prettiest so far. Wasn't keen on that one so much, but it'll be alright when it's in with the others. But I think those two came out really nicely. Oh, so looking forward to it. I have adjusted the pattern because the pattern that I've got only goes to a size 16, which isn't. So I've got an extra row in there. Well, an extra round, I should say, in there. That round there should have been just like single crochet, and so should this one. But, you know, it wouldn't have been big enough as a square. It would have been really tiny. So I didn't want to start having to calculate putting more squares in, you know, to make it my size. I know I could have put extra bits down the side, you know, like gussets or whatever they call them. But I thought I'd just rather make the squares a bit bigger. So instead of being a 5-inch square, when it's blocked, I'll have a 6-inch square, which will mean that it will be my size instead of being the pattern size. So that's great. So I'm looking forward to doing more of that. So anyway, this is a surprise. I wasn't intending to do, oh, itchy hand. Wasn't intended to do another video. And the camera seems to have held out, so I'm very glad about that. It's not cut off out on me yet. But having said that, I'd better go before it does cut out on me now. And I've gone. So I am just so happy with it. And I got a Valentine's card as well. I've not had a Valentine's card in, oh gosh, maybe 15 years? 20 years maybe? And it's been about 40, 50 years since I had a Valentine's card who I didn't know who it was from. You know, one of those little surprise ones. My auntie used to send me one when I was a teenager. She sent me one every year. She thought I didn't know it was her. But she didn't want me to be left out because other people were having Valentine's cards and she knew I wouldn't get one. So my aunt used to send me one every time. Yeah. I always used to pretend I didn't know who it was from. And she used to give it away because she'd be sat like, the corner, you know. And I knew it was her who'd sent it me. But the thought was there, wasn't it? Right, I'm going to go and think about something for my dinner, or whatever you want to call it, evening meal. I've got some things in the fridge, but I can't remember. I bought them at the weekend, and I've got a brain of a goldfish, so I've forgotten what I've got in there. There'll be the makings of something. Probably something I shouldn't be eating, but there'll be the makings of it. Anyway, I'm going to go now, so thank you very, very much, Efrain. A lovely, lovely surprise gift. Definitely not expecting anything from you, but it was a nice, nice surprise. I like surprises, don't you? I think it's time I did a few surprises, but I'd do more, but the postage is so expensive. And most of my bestest friends are in the US. So to surprise them, you know, it's like a surprise to me when I go to the post office. I'll have to start making tiny things, won't I, instead of sweaters and shawls. Yeah. So, off I go. I'm sorry if I'm jingling, but off I go. Oops. Got to turn myself off today. I haven't got Sue to turn me off, have I? That's better than her turning me on. That would cause a few eyebrows to raise. Oh dear. Well, thank you all for your lovely comments. I'm so glad you enjoy our videos. I enjoy making videos with Sue. She makes it more entertaining somehow. When I'm on my own, I can't think of as many things to say, but the comedians we were talking about, I realised that most of the people in the US have had no idea what I'm talking about, because they were northern comedians that probably never ever made it to America. Because humour's so different, isn't it? You know, Americans don't always get our humour. We sort of understand most of Americans' humour, but I must admit, people post videos up on Facebook, saying, "Oh my God, this is so funny, I was rolling on the floor." And I watch it and I think, what? It wasn't funny. You know, to me it just wasn't funny. And yet we have, it's amazing, isn't it? Different countries and we speak the same language, but we've got completely different senses of humour. I mean, some of our humour programmes make it over there, but they changed them. I mean, we had Till Death Us Do Part with Alf Garnett and his wife and everything, and you had over there, it was The Bunkers or something, and it just wasn't the same. You know, it just wasn't the same at all. I couldn't laugh at The Bunkers, but yeah, I could laugh at Till Death Us Do Part, yeah. Right, I really am going. I keep saying I'm going, and this time I mean it. So, bye bye all. Have a nice evening.